Hey boys and girls. So all of last week we talked a lot about making connections, right? And we talked mostly about making connections for one book to another. How is this book like this book, right? That's called a text to text connection. When you're saying that it reminds me of a book, something in this book reminds me of something in this book over here. So that's what we did all last week, okay? Because good readers make connections all over the place. So there's more types of connections. And this week, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about text to world connections. And these types of books are kind of big books usually. So they're kind of hard for me to find good first grade books that deal with this. So we're only going to work on this a few days. But a text to world connection is when something in a book might remind you of something happening in the world. Okay, it's usually a problem in the world. And a lot of first graders also don't know about all the problems in the world. And sometimes they're also kind of like text to self connections. So this one's kind of a tricky one, but we're going to do the best we can. So I picked a book to read you, and when I'm reading it, I'm going to make some text to world connections so you can kind of see what that looks like. Okay, so here we go. This book is called The Crayon Box That Talked. So here we go. While walking in a toy store the day before today, I overheard a crayon box with many things to say. "I don't like red," said Yellow, and Green said, "Nor do I. And no one here likes orange, but no one knows just why. We are a box of crayons that doesn't get along," said Blue to all the others. "Something here is wrong." I'm going to wait and make my connections a little bit later. "Well, I bought that box of crayons and took it home with me and laid out all the colors so the crayons could all see." Okay, I will stop here for a minute. So my text to world connection is that these crayons are kind of behaving like people. They don't like each other, but they really don't know why. And that happens in our world sometimes. It might happen in a small portion of the world, like a classroom, where some people just don't like each other for some reasons and they don't even know why. It could be, because of the way they look or the way they dress or the way they act, or just because they're a boy. Maybe, you're a girl and you're like, "I don't like boys," or the other way around, right? People sometimes act like this and it's not nice. So the crayons are being this way too. They don't like each other, but they don't even really know why. They're just different than them, kind of. Okay, this happens a lot in the real world, unfortunately. So she's laying out all the crayons. Let's see what happens. "They watched me as I colored with red and blue and green and black and white and orange and every color in between. They watched as green became the grass and blue became the sky. The yellow sun was shining bright on white clouds drifting by. Colors changing as they touched, becoming something new. They watched me as I colored. They watched till I was through. And when I'd finally finished, I began to walk away. And as I did, the crayon box had something more to say. "I do like red," said Yellow, and Green said, "So do I. And Blue, you were terrific, so high up in the sky." We are a box of crayons, each one of us unique. But when we get together, the picture is complete. So, could the crayons have made such a nice picture if there were all blues? No, it'd be kind of a boring picture. If there was only yellows, right. But when you have all the colors, the picture is much, much more interesting. So my connection to our world is that it's the same way for people. If everybody was the same in the world or in our class or even in our family, it'd be kind of boring, wouldn't it? Yeah. For example, Mr. Kimmel, my husband, he loves football. I didn't grow up in a very sports family. I didn't really care about sports. But that doesn't mean that I don't like him. It just means that sometimes I don't want to watch football. I'll do other things. But sometimes I do like watching football. And he taught me about it, and I didn't know about it before. So people like different things. People like different foods. People look different. People have different things they believe in, right? Some people don't celebrate certain holidays. That's okay. They probably celebrate a different holiday that we don't even know about that might be fun to learn. So this book is teaching me, and I'm connecting to the world, that different is okay. In fact, different makes things better. And so in our world, we should like everybody, right? Or at least give everybody a chance. Okay? So that's kind of my connection there. So I'm going to try to find a good book for you where you can make a connection to our world also. Okay? So be thinking when you're reading the book, how is what's happening in the book that you're reading like something in our world, like in our life, okay? Okay?